Hello Flosstube friends, welcome back to my, well, this time monthly update. Today is the 1st of December, so as I said earlier last month, or was it in October? I don't even remember. No, I think it was early November last time we talked. So as I said, I was going to come back at the end of November, start of December, meaning today, to do a more like monthly recap instead of a weekly one. And yeah, we'll see if I'm sticking with this or if I'm gonna go back to more frequent videos. But for now, this is what it is. So next time you'll probably be seeing a whip parade, seeing as the year is coming to an end. So today, however, we will take a little look at what I've been up to all November. Since I talked to you last, we do have a little bit of a lighting issue, so I do have my blinds almost closed. I apologize. It's already midday, didn't get around to film earlier, so we will have to make do with that, but I think it's okay. But yeah, anyway, real quick, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Sen. I am an artist and designer by trade. I am also a very frequent and very passionate cross-stitcher. So this is my little place on the internet for everything cross-stitch. Sometimes other crafts, but very infrequent, mainly cross-stitch. So I have been quite busy in the month of November. So I have actually, like I said, counted all of my stitches that I did last month, which is rare for me. I always want to do it, but I do always tend to fall off. So let me get the full stats for last month. I do have my computer right in front of me with all of my data and all the things. So total amount of stitches I did in November, 17,463. So I think it's moderate, because there were like a lot of days where I did around 300 or 400 stitches, because I'm working mainly on models at the moment that take longer than my full coverages do. I can't do the output that I do for them. Quick comparison, like the day I stitched the most in November was the 4th of November, where I worked on one of my full coverages that I tend to stitch in 10 stitch, like half stitches, where I stitched a total of 1,647 stitches in one day, like, but again, 10 stitches, compared to like my lowest day, which was only 152. Out of all 30 days of November, I stitched a total of 29. So there was one single day in November where I did not stitch. I don't know why. But let me check. I think that might have been... No, it actually wasn't a weekend. Funny. Yeah, so I did stitch on a total... Let's see. How many stitches did how many projects did I work on? I believe a total of 23 projects. It's not entirely correct because there was one I finished that it doesn't say. So let me just do a quick tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 actually. So something is not quite correct with my program here, but that's okay. So so this is a little bit that we have to go through. So how about we start with my game stitches, because I did make a little game for myself early last month where I compiled all of the characters in all of the Dungeons and Dragons game I play in, and I made a little list for them, and every time one of those characters would roll either like a 20, which is the best roll you can have in the game, or a 1, which is the worst roll you can have. And every time that happens, I would do like 100 stitches on the project I assigned to that character when they rolled a 20, and 50 stitches when they rolled a 1. So I have done most of those stitches. I still have 4 projects where I owe a few stitches, and I will not be continuing that game in December, so I do not know if I will finish those missing stitches. And when we go through them, I will see, like, I will show you them by the amount of stitches that I got. Like, so we will start with the lowest stitch count. Oh no, we won't actually, because, oh yeah, also here's the cat as usual, interrupting my rambling. We will not start with the lowest stitch count, because there was actually one project that got nothing, because that character rolled neither over the course of the month. So one of the projects got no love, and all the others did get at least some stitches to quite a few stitches. So we will go from lowest to highest, and one of them is also now part of a new game, but we will get into that. So I will pause and move to my desk so I can show you all the projects, because I figured that works a lot better than me just holding them up in front of the camera. So I will be seeing you in a moment. That will not be a moment at all for you. So here we are, starting with the lowest amount of stitches is this one. This one got a total of 86 stitches. So technically 50, but since I do tend to not always stop at the allotted number, it got a few more than that. And this is where we are with it currently. Let me see if I can adjust my light a little bit. I think this is as good as it gets. And as you can see, I started working in some threads all the way from here over to the other end of the pattern. And this is where this is at. I will try to add like before pictures somewhere on the screen. So this is the end for this one. Let's move on to the next. The next one that hardly got any love is my coffee dragon. This one got a total of 100 stitches. So basically one good roll in the entire month for that character. And this is where this little guy is sitting at. I'm not exactly sure where I worked. I think I worked a little bit more in his face. I probably won't see that much with 100 stitches, but you can always check the before picture. Probably gonna be here and see what it looks like compared. Next one in the red is this one. This used to be a freebie from Heaven and Earth Designs. It has not been for quite a long time, so unfortunately I don't think there's any way to get this one. This also only got 150 stitches last month. So 2 rolls, 1 good, 1 bad. This is where this is sitting at. I think I moved over a little bit in this direction. This is also like very sad little progress on this one still. But this is what this one got. Let's move on to the next. So last one that got very little stitches is this one. This is also one of my larger Heaven and Earth design patterns that is no longer available. And I had been hoping this would get a little bit more love, but unfortunately it also just got 164 stitches over the course of the game. This is upside down, which this is. Let me show you the entirety because this was already done. This is where this one's at. I believe I only put a few stitches up here in the sky to work a little bit on the background. See that the fabric stops warping. But this is where this one's currently at. I'm looking to work all of these wild threads in eventually. And then next time I will pick this up. We will see. Alright, now we get to those that got at least a little bit more love. Starting with this one. Also no longer available, I believe. My mini fold dragon got a total of 307 stitches this month. And I worked on, in this top corner here, sorry for shaking the camera, like starting to work in all of these threads, as you can see down here. This is where we worked on just 307 stitches. Not very much to see here in a project this big, but it did get some love. And now we're slowly moving upwards with the projects. On to the next. Next up we have Gravity, which I believe is my largest project, with over 300,000 stitches or something. Let me check. How much does this? Yeah, 309,101. This is my biggest whip currently. It got 352 stitches over the course of the game last month. So let me show you where it is at. I do believe I moved all the way across. This is the entire width of the project, and it doesn't even fit in the camera, as you can see there. Almost. It almost fits. It's very long, not very high, but very long. And I do believe I worked up here in this, and I had to put this back into my markup software again, because the first time I had put this in, I didn't set it up to have overlap, because this pattern has overlap. And like, you know, when they put like 2 or 3 rows on both pages, and you need to set that up in the software, and I didn't, because I didn't know any better. And so back when I worked on this, when I originally started it, I got so confused and I stitched those rows twice. And so now I was like, okay, I'm not gonna bother, and I'm not that far with this. So I deleted the file, put it back up in markup, set it up correctly, and then marked off all of the stitches that I already had again, and then started on this one again. So 342 stitches on Gravity. And now we will get slowly upwards and onwards with the amount of stitches. Next one I added is one of my own patterns. Like, this is the beehive sampler that I made, I believe, sometime last year or the year before. I don't even remember, it's been a while. And I still haven't finished the model for this one. So I put it in, and it got a total of 402 stitches, which is not too bad for a pattern this small. So with this one, you can actually see some progress, I believe, from the last time I did show it to you. So this is where this one is at. And we'll see when I will pick it up next. But for now, not too bad. Next in the line is the Dragons and Apples. I believe this is by Quaternion Creations. Used to be a cell. Obviously I did not do it as a cell, I started it way late. But this one got 458 stitches. This is where it is currently at. Moved a little bit across into the second and the start of the third little column over there. This is such a beautiful piece. I really do want to put more work into it. So I'll hopefully pull it back out more in the future. But for now, this is what it got, 458 stitches. Also not too bad for a pattern this size. And now we will get even higher with, I believe, the next one will be in the 600s. So, next up, we have The Deadly Aquarium by Lula Crow. I'm sure you all know this one, or most of you do. This one got a total of 638 stitches over the course of the game. So let me unfold it. No, this is the back, not the back. My cray back. So maybe I should have thought about this sooner. This is where this is at, and it does not fit in the frame, of course. I need to put attention, shaking camera a little higher. So this is where we're sitting at. I worked in the pool down here. Let me put this a little higher. You can see a little bit of work in the pool, and then I worked a little bit on this sign here, and finally put a few more stitches of 310 up here. So this was all done before, as you can see in the before picture. But yeah, this is what 638 stitches did for this one. Next up, for 640, and I still haven't printed out the cover picture, so I will show you the tag, is the Star Dragon by All Forest Embroidery. And this one got 2 stitches more for 640. So let me show you where it is at now. Oh, the soft fabrics always like going everywhere. This is where we're at with this one. And as you can probably already see what I did, I worked in this flower here. This side of this green middle part, I believe, and the tiny tip of this flower over here. So quite a bit of progress. And I really love this one. This is also a contender for definitely needs more love, and it's very enjoyable for me to stitch because I'm in my, I love 1/1 full cross and 1/1 tent. Like, I'm in my I love stitching with 1 strand phase currently, most of all. Which is funny because later I will show you a project that I'm stitching 3/1. So, but we will get to that later once we're through with the game. That is where this one's at. On to the next. Now moving up even higher, we have Fantasy Home by Artsy, and this one got a total of 765 stitches. So we are getting close to the 4-digit mark, of which I actually do have a few. So you already can see there is a huge difference between none and done, right? It's all in the RNG and the random generator numbers, random generate numbers. I don't know. Don't ask me. But this is where this is at. I feel like this massive fold here, I hope will disappear once I'm done and iron it. I don't even know what I did. I think I moved over here completely, did a little bit on the tower here of the house, and definitely a little bit more over here, trying to get the second page done. So all over the place as usual, but this is where this one is currently at. Next up, and this was closely tied, is Irises and Dragonflies, also by Artsy. And this got 768 stitches in total in November. And this is where I am at with that one. Working in threads, moving across, and well, partially cross-country, partially typewriter, partially I don't even know. So typical me. This is where this one's at. And it's actually funny, it's only 2, like midday, very early afternoon, and the sun's already setting. Oh, the woes of winter. But now we will move on to the last few that have not made the 4-digit mark. I think there's 2 of them. I might as well grab the last 5. So let's go with those. So next up, sitting at 812, is this one, which I also haven't printed out. And let me show you where it's at. I don't have a place to put the bag without it falling. My tiniest stitch. Then I think this is the tiniest stitches that I'm stitching. This is, seeing as this is 1/110. This is where it is at. And I believe I worked in, and you can barely see it on the gray, on her face. There are some light colors worked in there. It's very hard to see. And I do hope the hair lightens up a bit, because it looks very dark stitched up. And again, this is like a pattern that I charted myself, so I suppose it's a lot of trust the process with this one. We'll see. So this is where we're at with her. And 812 stitches later. On to the next one. And now the last one that didn't quite make it to 1000 is my Emerald Dragon. So this one got 911 stitches. And I have worked on, yeah, there's a lot of hanging threads because I took them off the bobbin to start stitching them in. This is the entire width. I moved all the way across using the typewriter method with the sky colors, and then I came back down and start to move in all of these hanging threads here. As you can see, one is still on my needle, just a few like going down here, going over here, to get them all worked in, so I have a little bit more freedom to move around if I want to do more cross-country. But yeah, this is where this one is at, almost 1000 stitches later. And now we will get to the 4-digit ones. First, in the high rollers, we have what I call the Spooky Dragon or Skull Dragon by Cloaksoft on Etsy. And this one got 1092 stitches. And this is where this one is at. Also a few hanging threads. I think I worked a little bit more of the darker color in over here. And this gray, I believe. But you will of course see in the before and after, which I cannot see yet while filming. This is where this one is at. But Halloween is over, so this one will probably go away until next year. We will see. Next is the Garlic Dragon. Charted by Paint Free Crafts. Artwork is by Stanley Morrison, as you can see. I've had this for such a long time, so this is really sad that this isn't further along than it is. It got a total of 1146 stitches, mainly done on the top row, so up here, as you can see. And all of the hanging threads have been worked in. And I actually do like how this looks, with how the no hanging threads look. So I might move away more from parking because this looks so neat. But we will see. Oh, this is where this one is at. And it definitely needs more love for how old it is. And sorry if my voice is starting to give up. I think I'm getting another cold. And I still have a lot more to show you. So technically, quick section, I should have shown you this one before all of the 4 digits high rollers, because this got also a little bit, almost 1,000 stitches during the game, but I have been using this one for a new game I'm playing, so I will show you this in a minute. Just making a quick mention, because otherwise, if I just went by stitches this month, this would be like the winner. However, the actual winner has been decided, and it is not this one. So last month, when I started, I asked people to give me like a thought, who they thought might be the actual winner. And the Griffin Stitcher was actually only one, I believe. And she did say, yeah, it might be the fairy dragon, like the crystal keeper. And it actually is. Though I must say, this one got a head start, because when I started the game, I put the amount of stitches per dice rolls way higher. So technically this would probably also be around 1,000, maybe even a little under 1,000. But with the way I started it, so I will let this count, because that was my own error, this got a total of 1,981 stitches over the course of the game. Let me show you where this is currently sitting at. And I do believe this is quite a bit of progress from last time I showed it. But I will let you be the judge of that when you see the before and after. So this is where this one is at, which concludes my little experimental game. And that being said, with all of these projects getting some love, which is wonderful, I have decided, like I said very early in the video, not to continue, because while I loved doing this, it was a lot of fun, but seeing that I still have a little bit of stitch, like a few stitches open for some of the projects, if I had done them yesterday before like making this cut off, the tally might have looked different. But I am feeling like I'm getting a tiny bit burned out on stitching the same projects for the entire month. And then stitching them when I have to, because they got some numbers that are, you know what I mean, right? I am a stitch what I want when I want stitcher, and I'm already like forcing myself to be constant with my models as much as I can. So I do not need like a total of, 19 projects that I have to work on a month. It worked well for this month, but already at the end of November, I was like, I can't, I want to stitch on something else. And so this will be a test, but that's all it's going to be. I'm not going to continue it. I have started another game, however, that I'm going to talk to you about while I pull out the other project again. Let me grab it real quick. So I found a new to me stitcher on Flosstube earlier, like this, actually yesterday, funny enough, on Sunday. And while watching Flosstube while stitching, her name is Wild Fox Stitchery on Flosstube, and she has made an adventure game that's a little bit inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, I believe, because you have to roll dice to play it, and you make yourself a character. I do not have my character sheet printed out, so I can't show you. But I will link her channel and her video explaining it down below. So if you think that's something you would enjoy, do check it out. It's so much fun. And well, you make a character like you would in Dungeons and Dragons, and you level that character by stitching on a project or multiple projects to you assigned to that character. I do have it has a story. I haven't printed out a story. It has monsters you need to fight, and you basically get like a level sheet for your character. I have that one printed out. So while you stitch, like you mark off your stitches and you level your character. So my character is currently level 10 and I have defeated the first monster. So and you get like funny little, you know, events along the way. So the higher your level gets, the more stitches you need to do to level up. As you can see, like, well, it's fairly easy for the first 10 levels, because every level is just 100 stitches, unless you get unlucky like I did and get some extra stitches on the events. But when you get all the way to level like 91, you need to do 1,000 stitches per level, and I think that's awesome. So, but again, I'm not gonna like harp too much about it, because please do watch her video. She explains it so beautifully. But I was like, yeah, this is a game that seems to be made for me. I don't have to do it. I can decide when I want to level my character, but I also want to do it. So I did assign the project to it that really needs to get some progress. Like in my mind, when I started this like in 2022, I was like, I want to give this 25% per year, so I finish it in 4 years. I gave it up 20% in 2020, and then it's currently at 28%. So you can see how that went. Not as expected, but starting this game yesterday, I put almost 1,100 stitches into it yesterday alone, because I really wanted to get my character to level 10 and fight the first monster. I might have like been stitching on this for 7.5 hours yesterday, and it was also like in my own game over the course of November. Oops, shaky camera. So this one got a total of 2,026 stitches over the course of November. So let me get it out and show you where it's at. Let me properly show you the picture again. If you're returning, you've seen this a few times. This is my own artwork. This was my very first Dungeons and Dragons character, so I thought this was the most fitting project to play this game with. So that is what I chose. Now let's see. And I have been steadfast, and I worked background and more background, and as you saw, like this entire upper corner here is a background, and that's where I'm currently at. Like all of this is done, and let me see if I can. Well, here these pages are done. This is like the page break. Like there's, I think, 7 pages done. This is the 8th page, that's 8th or 9th page, that's almost done. It just needs like these 3 rows complete, and then there's background, and there's more background all the way up to his hair over here. But going with like a typewriter method, I'm gonna finish this row of pages, and then I will have a little bit more variation between his hair and background, which is nice. But for now, all I have to do is background. And as you can see, I did a lot of background because all of this was not done. And yeah, of course, I also have something done in their faces. You've seen it, and I'll show you like the full thing in my whip parade. For now, this is what I did, and this is what I'm sticking with. I will use persevering through all of this background, and I'm showing you my back. I shouldn't. It's messy. You don't want to see it. I will persevere through this background, leveling up my character, and I will hopefully. Well, my goal is to get this to 50%. I haven't set a time frame, which I probably should have, so I want to get this to 50% by the end of next year. I'm saying it. We'll see if I manage. We'll see how long I persevere, but gamifying, you know, for some people, that works quite well, and especially since I am most likely neurospicy. Gamification has always worked for me, so we'll see. But that is this one, and we are almost done with the whips. I worked on another 5 projects that are not related to any games that I'm gonna show you now, and then we're almost done with what I've been up to shenanigans. So, and I don't know how long this video is by now, because I filmed it in like tiny increments to keep out all of the pulling out projects and packing away projects to not make it unnecessarily long, because my rambling is making it long enough. So, but I hope that's less boring than you watching me quietly open project bags and stuff back in. So let's get on with the other 5 things I worked on, which also includes my FFO. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so non-game stitches that I did. It's not as many, so I'm not going to show you 20 more projects. If I were, I would go back to like more frequent filming. So next one I worked on is My Heart of Gold, and I just was in the mood, so I pulled it out one evening and gave it 491 stitches. So this is where we are at, and I didn't stick with the typewriter on that day because I wanted to work on some darker colors. As you know, like most of it, as we've seen, is all light greens and whites and yellows, and I love that, but I wanted to get some of the darker colors in. You don't really see anything. It's nothing substantial yet. So I was like, okay, this is not doing anything. Let's go back to the tried and true. But yeah, this is where this is at. This is the entire width of it. So I did use a thicker pen, like fabric pen, to mark off the pages, so I can see where the page breaks are properly. And yeah, I will pull this out whenever I feel like it, and I want something light and green. And the sun is moving. I think I need to change the blinds, like which window I've closed, but this is this one. The other one is also one you haven't seen in a while from me, probably. It's this one. It's another D&D pattern. I need to check where it's from originally. I think it's Stitchy Picasso, but I need to check because it's not on here, but it is on my list. I mean, why not check it now? Because otherwise I will tell you some wrong information. No, we wouldn't want that. So let's see, because I do have a list. I'm working on a very, very extensive list, so I just need to find it. There. It is by Stitchy Picasso. See, my memory isn't eluding me completely. I'm changing this one though. As you can see, like the background is stitched. This one, as well as this one, and I think this one in here as well. I'm not stitching the background. And I have changed, like this here, I put the name of my ranger instead of just putting ranger. So you will see that in a minute, because that part is done. I did not do too much on it. So now you see why I'm not stitching the background, because I've put it on this neat brown fabric. I stitched a little bit in this green here, and I also believe, did I do anything else other than the green? I'm not sure. If I find a before picture, I will show you. But this is something I'm planning to finish, because it is already at 84%, almost 85%. So thinking about a little over 1,100, almost 1,200 stitches to go, which is doable. And we'll get to that in plans in a bit, but that is what I worked on. And now, my FFO. I have finished this one, and I will put the before right here. There, I believe there was just a little bit of background left over here, and I finished it, and I looked for a frame for this for a little bit, and I found this one. Look at this frame. Isn't it perfect? I had been thinking about like choosing a larger frame because like this size is not that common, and then put like a passepartout around it in purple or black, and then just put it in a larger frame. But then I found this. It was above what I'd usually like pay for a frame. I think it was like 25 euros or something, but I just couldn't not buy it. I think it's absolutely perfect. And it's not like anything neat. I just stuck it on here with double-sided tape, like you know, it's fine. I only put tape here where there's no stitches, not below the stitches or anything. So if there's anything that happens with the glue, it's just gonna be on the part that has no stitches on it. So I would never I would never put glue under this. I'm too scared. I did that with artwork once, and like not me personally, but someone I traded artwork with when I still did artist trading cards. They glued their artwork on the cardstock back with like double-sided tape that is specifically for crafts, but as it got older, you could see the tape through it, and it was so ugly. Not the artwork. The artwork is great, don't get me wrong, but like seeing the tape, yellowy tape through the paper or that the actual artwork was on I was like, this is so sad. Why would you do that? So I would never. I just stretched it over the backing and then glued the excess fabric on it, because it's too small to lace and all that. I mean, I could have probably laced it, but oh well. This, you can see a little bit of the non-stitched white, but I don't mind. I love how it looks. It doesn't need to be professional. I was contemplating leaving the glass out because of the glare, but yeah, this is what it is, and I love it. And this is my FFO. And now we will get to, I believe, 2 more whips. But yeah, this I put 824 stitches into it in November to finish it. Yes, and now we will get to 2 more whips, and then we're done with the whips. So whips, the last 2 are models actually, and this one is my current model focus. So you might have seen it on Instagram. If you haven't, this is a new pattern I'm working on, and as you can see, it is almost finished. All I need to do is like do the rest of the window frame over here, a little bit more background, and then the other side of the windowsill that the kitty is sitting on. So I did a total of 3,379 stitches on this little guy here over the course of November, since I started it in a little bit over 2 weeks. It's 88% done. So as soon as it is done, I will make it available in my Etsy shop. I will show you like the total mock-up of this. And I printed it out so large that I can't get it in frame. This is what it will look like. And this has not too many colors, but it does have blend. And as you can see, it has backstitch, because like the entire window frame here will be backstitched. So I know a lot of people do not particularly like backstitch, but I like how it gets like how everything like comes to life with. I mean, it might probably look nice even without the backstitch if you don't want to do it, at least for the windows. Not sure about the windowsill over here though, but nonetheless, like the windows will be backstitched. That's also something I still need to do, which does not count into the stitch counts. But yeah, this is the cat window. I have not decided on a name. I'm probably gonna call it Sunset View, but for now it's called Cat Sunset Test. But yeah, this is my focus, and it will remain my focus until it is done, so I can make it available for all of you. That is the model number 1. Model number 2 is already available because this is a larger one, and I am not going to fully stitch it before I put it in the shop, so this is already on my Etsy. It's a gingerbread road. I do eventually want to stitch it. I did start stitching the model to check if the colors work, because originally I had a lighter color in this part of the house, and that's the thing with mock-ups only. It looked fine in the mock-up, but once it was stitched, it disappeared with the white. So I chose a different color for that. And that is why always test your colors, or at least you should, when you make patterns, even if you don't fully stitch them. This is where I am at with my personal model of this. Not very far, but again, checking how the colors look. And I think this will be beautiful. So that's my version of it. I had to pause for a moment, it was sneezy. But yeah, this got, let's see how many stitches. Not too many, I believe. Oh, 404, so not too little either. And I think that's it for stitches. Yeah, so let's go back to me and get into plans. And here I am again. So, that was a lot of stitching. And that is why I didn't used to do, try to do weekly videos, because again, I have no idea how long this is. You know, I don't. I will know once I edit it by putting all of the little clips together that I just filmed. Now that's gonna be fun. It'll probably take me another 2 hours, but it's fine. It's fine. We love to do this. So, plans. Like I mentioned, not gonna continue my own try on a game. I will be continuing to play this new adventure game I found by Wildfox Stitchery. I just remembered the name. It's called the, oh my god, and I just forgot it again, the Threadwalker Saga, I believe. And see how far I get with that, as you will see at the end of December. So I will see how I do the videos. I will probably make an end of the month recap for December at the end of December, and then either film my whip parade on the same day if I manage, because I don't usually do anything on the 30th of December other than have a drink at midnight and goodbye or some such. I don't know what day it's gonna be. Oh, it's a Tuesday. Well, in that case, oh no, the end of the year is the 31st. That's a Wednesday. Not the 30th. I might, well, I'll see. Because depending on what my friends are gonna do, I might be playing Dungeons and Dragons with my mini group. So, we'll see what the other two's plans are. But so I might film my end of the year, my December recap on the 31st and my whip parade on the 1st before I do any additional stitching. So we'll see. Because the whip parade is gonna take a long time because I have a lot of whips. Other plans, I do have worked on my Notion list. I've put all of my projects into Notion. Not all of them, there's a few that I still need to put in. So my plan for this month, other than stitching, is to finish that. I want to have all of my projects in my Notion by the end of the year. So, and preferably all of my paper patterns put into markup somehow, so I can count my stitches. Either by the ones that I have from magazines by scanning them and then making a PDF and then putting that into markup, which has worked fine so far with a lot of them, or completely recharting them if I have to. just for myself. Obviously, if I am like turning a paper pattern into a PDF, I'm not going to share that. But we will see. So far, it's been fine. It's worked. And I hope I will manage to finish that by the end of the year. It's still a lot of work, so we'll see. I will be making patterns. Obviously, we'll see how many I finish. I want to finish the cat that I just showed you. As for stitching gold plans, other than continuing with the Threadwalker Saga on my one of my oldest full coverages that I showed you earlier, I want to focus a little bit on my smaller projects in December. Hello, Seto. He's here, you can't see him, but he's come back. So I do have quite a few smaller projects that only need like 1,000, let's say under 10,000 stitches to be finished. And I want to put my focus on smalls for this month. I might still work on some of my larger projects, but like, again, plans change. Plans are made to be changed, but that is my plan. But yeah, that is what I am planning to do. And few other tiny things. So the rest of it will be like a little bit of info about patterns, like new patterns that I'm working on, patterns that are now available really quickly, a rundown, and then a tiny bit of haul. So for those of you that are not interested in that, thank you so much for watching my stitchy part, and I hope I will see you again. If you liked what you saw and want to follow me on my stitchy journey, please do like and subscribe. That would be like, that means a lot to me, and I always like seeing you comment on the videos if you do. So leave me a comment, tell me which one of my projects you like the most. If you have questions about any of them, feel free to ask them. I usually do not mind, and I have a lot of information about some of them and I have no information about others. So just feel free to ask and I'll let you know what I can. The biggest problem is usually my fabrics, because most of my fabrics are from D-Stash, from eBay, from mystery fabrics from here and there. So that is usually not something I can give you much information on, where I got certain things and what they are. But as far as patterns go, that usually works. So speaking of, this month's Patreon pattern, since it is currently the 1st of December, the new Patreon pattern is out, and it is snow days for my mandala lovers this month. We haven't had a mandala in a bit, so snow days is the Patreon pattern. You can get it for €5 if you join the lowest tier. No, it's not the lowest tier. The lowest tier is actually tip jar. If you join like the regular tier, you get this month's pattern. There is also a hoarder tier, which gives you access to the patterns of the last 6 months if you want to get a little bit more variety. But yeah, this one's out now. You can, if you join my Patreon, you can download it. And that means that the pattern from 6 months ago has now moved on to my Etsy, which was the strawberry mandala. That is now freely available on Etsy for you to purchase if you want to get a little bit of summer in your vibes. But I also heard like that some Americans are in strawberry season now, funny enough. But I guess that depends on the type of climate you live in, right? And again, the gingerbread road is the newest pattern on Etsy. And the cat sunset view is probably what I'm gonna call it, will be available soon as I finish it. So that's for patterns. Haul. I have bought a few patterns. Let me see Well, not too many. Let me see if I can grab them and then I'll be back. So I bought 2 patterns actually. I thought it was more, but the others were already in October, so not too excessive. I got this one from Etsy. The shop is Shine Star X Stitch, and I do believe I already have one of their patterns that I have already started. This will not be an immediate start, but they did have a sale. So, and I saw this on my For You page on Etsy, so I couldn't pass it up. Because this is... Look at my room. This is my vibe. This was a must-have. What also was a must-have, Sprouting Lupine posted their newest pattern, and I got it. This was speaking to me on another level. So this one was an immediate purchase, pretty much. And I will, well, I have a lot of fabric. I do not have blacks or dark grays or anything that is even similar to this. I have found a shop on Etsy that sells printed Aida, and like in different counts. So I did buy a printed fabric for it, a 16 count. It's like a black starry sky print. I don't know, like printed fabrics are always a little bit tricky because you're not supposed to wash them and everything. So I do hope I will not regret this purchase. But again, this is my Christmas present for myself. So for one, I will not, I will not be mad at me for going what's technically over budget, because you know it's my Christmas present. Yeah, I will just hope I will I will show it to you when it arrives, which is supposed to be mid-December, and then we will see. And then maybe I can give an it's a European seller, so I think they are in let me see, where are they located? In Bulgaria. So, and they have such beautiful fabrics, like the printed fabrics look amazing. So as soon as I see them, like, and have them in my hand and see how they look, then hopefully I can give you a little... Wow, my words are eluding me. It's been I've been filming for quite a while now. I think for at least 2 hours. I will show it to you and I will tell you what I think of it. So let's put it that way. And the last thing, and it's not technically a haul because this is a Christmas present that I already received from my lovely friend. And this is a magic needle kit. And he gifted me a magic needle kit last year or the year before last year for my birthday or Christmas, I think my birthday. And I love it so much. I still haven't finished it, but I love their patterns. I love the quality of their kits. It's incredible. And I found this one and I was like, if you want to like buy me something, I want this one. Because it's wintry. It's not necessarily Christmassy, but it's wintry, which I like. I'm not like... I like Christmas, don't get me wrong, but I'm not super into Christmas. But like having something wintry like this. And I will stitch this with everything that comes in the kit. So I will probably start it either sometime next month, once I have put the paper pattern that's in here. I'm not gonna show it to you, of course. Once I've scanned it and put it in my markup, I will probably start this sometime in December, maybe on Christmas. I think that's a good idea. I think I'm gonna start this on Christmas since it was a Christmas present. But that is all that I have. Tiny life update. Not much going on. We've had one market, I believe, or I was supposed to go to a market last month, which I had to cancel because I think I made a mention that my car, that I had to take my car to inspection, and it did not pass, so they had to make some repairs, and that was getting very close to the weekend, and I wasn't sure that I would get it back on time before the next week, so I had to cancel the event. In the end, I did get the car back, but it had already been a super stressful week. I was sick, my friend was sick, and I was so burned out by like this whole shenanigans with the car and the extra repairs and the cost. And then we had some trouble within our friend group, and yeah, it just wasn't a good time. We do have an event next week. Fingers crossed everything goes well, because I feel like I'm getting sick, so let's just hope it's not gonna get too bad so I don't have to cancel that as well. And we will have another one directly before Christmas on the 20th, so one on Nicolaus Day, as we say, on the 6th of December, and one on the 20th. So Christmas shopping. I hope people will do a lot of Christmas shopping, but we will see. The car repairs were moderate, so I was worried about how much it was gonna cost, because that was like something that could be in a price range between like 100 and 5,000 euros, which I wouldn't have done, because I don't do repairs that are like way above what my car cost, and my car was fairly cheap because it's 20 years old. Coming up on 21 next year, my old lady, so it was okay, it was payable. The car is all fixed. It has its license for the next 2 years, which, fingers crossed, it's gonna survive those next 2 years, because you never know with older cars. So yeah, that's pretty much all. Hey cat, stop it. And yeah, Christmas coming up faster than expected. Christmas presents are all a go, because like my family is not that big on presents, thankfully for me, who wouldn't be able to keep up with everyone else in regards to budget. My nephews, obviously, like the 2 oldest ones, obviously are getting presents. The oldest one is starting school next year. How time flies. And it was only yesterday that he was like this big, but that's how it goes. The little one isn't like getting anything yet. He's 6 months old. No, he's not 6 months old. He's almost a year old now. He was born in January, but like my sister-in-law was like, yeah, they have so many toys. He is too small to understand Christmas presents, so he's not getting anything personally. The 2 older boys, however, definitely are. Maybe I'll do some ornaments for like my mother and such, but I'm not sure yet, because again, I'm not that big on Christmas stitching. And yeah, that's another reason why I want to focus on smalls more, because I do have a few smalls that are meant to be presents for family members when they are eventually done, and they are so far from done because I haven't worked on them in what feels like ages. So yeah, before I keep rambling for another hour, maybe I should do like stitch with me videos, and then you can watch me stitch while I ramble on for an hour or some such. But that's actually an idea I've been having, so maybe I'll do that. I've been thinking about like streaming on Twitch or something in like next year, so then I can just record my live streams and put them on YouTube as Stitch with me's, for those that are not on Twitch. I don't know, I've never streamed on Twitch, but I've been planning to for quite a while now, so I should just get a webcam and do it. But yeah, that's me for this month, and this video is probably already long enough, so I'm gonna love you and leave you until the end of the year, most likely. And I hope you will have a great pre-Christmas craze, and that's not gonna be too crazy. Please do leave a like and subscribe, and drop me a comment down below. It would be very appreciated. And as always, I love to hear from you. and see you again next time. Bye bye!